Greetings and welcome to the Power Gamer Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Dawson, joined today by a special guest host, Mr. David Devlin, joining us today, who I affectionately just call Dev. Dev, how's it going today?
It is going great, man. Thanks for having me. How are you?
I'm good. You are not Johnny Paulus.
No, I am not.
He is
I
not
never
Johnny
live up
Paulus.
to that name.
Johnny is he's on vacation. He's at the beach with his family and
awesome
doing all that, which I guess this is really about like the last time of the summer you could feasibly go to the beach and still call it summer. So, Johnny, we're sure you're listening, and we're just going to incessantly just talk trash about you this entire show. So, prepare yourself for a good time. I guess the first order of business, Dev, is really telling people who you are. We've of course mentioned you a few times on the show and your streaming moniker, Cul-de-sac Jack. But
yes,
for those listeners that we have that haven't had a chance to meet you or aren't part of the other communities that you're in, who the hell are you?
That's a great question. I don't even know who I am. I'm kidding. Hi, I am Cul-de-sac Jack. I have been mentioned here a few times, and I really appreciate that. I am a big Halo fan. I also love collecting retro games, which Mike and I frequently talk about. And I love games, and I'm just happy to be here and spreading my somewhat knowledge of them with you all. So thank you.
Yeah, we even go game shopping together.
Yeah, man. Oh, it's so fun. No, actually, really, it is fun.
It is. And,
spending money is fun.
and expensive. So, well, very good. Thank you for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
This is episode 84 of the Power Gamer Podcast. We have quite a bit going on this week, as there was just everyone decided to have their web announcement fest this week. So we've got a few things to touch on there. First up, we're going to talk about what we've been playing this week. So this whole past week has been an absolute blur for me. I've been out traveling through Virginia with one of my manufacturers for my actual work, my day job. So that means, other than the weekend leading in, I was relegated to the Nintendo Switch. So the weekend leading in, I continued playing The Last of Us Part 1. Of course, that shouldn't be too surprising if you listen to last week's episode, where I told you why you needed to buy this game. So The Last of Us Part 1, still very much enjoying it and absolutely loving the graphics overhaul to this game and working my way through it. I think that's probably what I'm going to get on tonight after I finish this podcast and try and make some progress on. Maybe I can finish it before my business trip next week, which takes me to a foreign country, all the way to Belgium. So I'll be relegated to the Switch once again next week. I guess with this being a hot button item right now, The Last of Us Part 1, did you have any thoughts on it you wanted to share to our listener base before we move away from it, sir?
You know, I listened to you last week, and you made a very good point about rebuying the game. That was fantastic. My thought is that, you know, I've thought about purchasing it, but I just finished up 1 and 2 recently, so I think I'm going to hold off on it. But I feel like if you are new to the series and have always thought about it, the PS5 edition is obviously the way to go. It is so, just from what you were saying too, the graphics, man, every video that I've seen, it's beautiful. It is so beautiful. And I cannot commend Naughty Dog enough for the work that they do in these games. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying how much you can see has been completely actually remade versus just, what I was saying last week, that the PS4 version, it was basically just an up-res of the PS3 version, and it was necessary. As I was thinking on the conversation from last week's show, and of course listening to it as I drove 1,000 miles this past week, I thought of another point worth bringing up, and I feel like the thing that I got most right just listening back to myself was that the PS4 re-release, or they called it remastered, we know it was just a port, was extremely necessary at that time. I can't stress enough that mainly happened because of when The Last of Us originally came out at the end of the PS3's life cycle, and it was absolutely necessary to bring it forward on the new hardware. Why? Because the new hardware wasn't backwards compatible. And the reason why I reiterate that point is because we were in the exact same situation right now, looking back at The Last of Us Part 2. Last of Us Part 2 looks incredible, but the PS5 is backwards compatible. So we don't need what they did to the original Last of Us with The Last of Us Part 2, because it already looks incredible, and you can take your disc, pop it in your PS5, or if you had it digitally, of course, you can just download your PS4 version and play it on your PS5. So I think the compatibility was really the main thing that drove that previous iteration. So enough of The Last of Us. Next game I've been working my way through, and I know this is one that you, sir, have cleared. Is and we need to agree on the pronunciation. LiveALive. We're in agreement. LiveALive.
We're in agreement. LiveALive. Okay. Yep.
So I've been playing LiveALive on the Nintendo Switch. This is my first time really commenting about this game. I kind of tickled on it maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago. I've had an interesting experience with LiveALive so far. It's maybe the tale of two experiences. When the game opens up and you have these 8 different timelines in LiveALive, me being a very meticulous and organized person said, okay, I need to work from the earliest time period forward. So I'm going to start with prehistoric and move my way forward. So my first time playing it, normally when I'm playing a JRPG, I just let the boss fight sort of do the dick check, so to speak, to see if I've leveled up enough. And I was pushing through. I got to a fight with the woman from the other tribe that's the bad in the prehistoric era. And it was a hard fight, but I got past her. But it felt like, man, these fights are really tough. And so after I got done with her, there's kind of like an open world section and then a cave section. And so the open world section, I just, I'm walking towards the next marker. So I sort of charge through it and go up to the next cave. And a little cutscene happens. You fall through a floor. And then you're in a cave with fucking alligators and all sorts of crazy shit. And your healer's gone. And I couldn't beat any of these things. So I'm looking at my character and I'm going, what the fuck? I had no bearing for the leveling system in the game, LiveALive. So I was level 4.
Yep. Okay. Yep.
And apparently, so I go online. I'm like, why is this the hardest game I've ever played in my life? So I go online and see that, oh yeah, you should be like level 8 by the time you get here. I'm like, oh, son of a bitch. Because I'm instance locked at this point where I can't go back out into the open world because I've fallen into a hole in the ground. So I said, you know what? I'm like maybe an hour in. I'm just going to, I got to start this over because I'm just completely fucked at this point. So restart the game completely. And I just go every mob that I can see or sniff, as the prehistoric Pogo likes to do. I would kill. And so like now by the time I get to this boss, I'm like level 9 and I'm just shitting all over everything. Literally, my teammate is a monkey who throws shit at the enemies. And so now I'm like, okay, I got it. You really have to push because they're short little slice RPGs, and you do need to level your character up. So now my new gauge in LiveALive for if I'm where I need to be is I'll just attack a mob and see, does this give me a shit ton of experience or does it give me a little negligible amount? And if it's the latter, then I'm like, okay, I'm good to move on. So I know that you've beaten this game in its entirety. I've finished now the prehistoric section, and I'm up to the next time I log into it, I fight the end boss in the Kung Fu section.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Is where I'm at with this. But I would say now that I've kind of got past that bad initial experience, I really like it. I think it's a well done game. It's certainly not as hardcore as something like Octopath, but
right.
What did you think about LiveALive?
So I want to go rerun really quick. I was laughing because at the same part that you looked up what the hell level you should be was the same exact part I looked up what level I should be, and I restarted the whole fucking thing again. So yeah.
So it's not just me. Okay.
No, it is not just you. It doesn't hold your hand, and I like that. I adored it. I loved, like you said, the slices of pizza of RPG is just, it's so good. I was going to ask you what your favorite one was, but we're not going to do that because I don't want to tell you anything.
I can already tell you which one is my favorite, even though I haven't played it yet.
Which one?
It's going to be the Wild West one.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite.
I know it's going to be the Wild West one.
It's so good. But yeah, it's not a very forgiving RPG. So if you like that kind, like you said, it's not as hardcore as Octopath. But it's usually, like you said, a DPS check. So you definitely want to see how far you can get and frequently save because you're going to be going back to that previous save.
Yeah,
a lot.
Yeah, Johnny was making fun of me as I was going through it. He was streaming. And he would be remiss if I didn't remind you all. You can check out Johnny's stream at twitch.tv/hellhero, H3LLH3RO. So you can check him out there. We're hanging out there most nights when he's not on vacation.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so he was making fun of me the whole time, like, oh my God, Mike, I can't believe you don't run more than one save file. Oh, you can't just go back. Like, dude. Yeah, stop.
You suck.
You need to stop. But he's right, and as well, Dev is here too. That it is important to just maybe get 3 running saves together.
Yes, 100%.
Especially when you're first starting out. But other than my addiction to a mobile game called F1 Clash.
What is that?
Which no one wants to hear about. It's another F1 manager style game. Not for people that aren't obsessed with F1. That takes care of what I've been playing this week. Sir, how about you? What have you been up to this week?
Oh man, so I'm going down memory lane. 11-year memory lane. I picked up for $20 at Target the GTA 5 PS5 edition, and man, oh man, is it actually really fun. It has been so long since I played the game that I practically forgot everything about it. So it's like I'm playing it for the first time. And honestly, it's really good in the sense of the DualSense works really well, has the adaptive triggers. The haptics are really good. Like when you drive over different kinds of like road or sand or a bridge or something, you'll feel it in the controller. I love the DualSense speakers, so all your phone calls come through that. And it also has a performance ray tracing mode, and my gosh, does that game look beautiful. Controls great. It's just as you remember, but better. It's so good.
I don't remember it at all.
I didn't either.
No, I have never played Grand Theft Auto 5.
Really?
No,
not even touched it.
No, and see, now I'm in this weird position too, because I at some point in time, I snagged a physical copy of it for PS4. But I don't think that copy, if I stick it into a PS5, is the PS5 version. I think I'd still need to buy the PS5 version of it. And
God.
Well, I just what was it, a month ago or so, 2 months ago? I finally went back. I'd never finished Grand Theft Auto 4. I almost beat it, but 10, 12 years ago, whatever. I came close to beating it and then just stopped for whatever reason.
Gotcha.
So I did go back and just recently finish Grand Theft Auto 4. So, and I know the games have absolutely fucking nothing to do with each other, but I'm like, I need to take care of Nico Bellic before I go running off on some other adventure. So I'm primed and ready to play Grand Theft Auto 5. I have zero interest in the online thing, and I know like a lot of my friends and some people who listen to this stream as well are very into it. So I'm definitely not knocking what y'all do. In fact, some of the people that listen to this podcast and stream it, I love watching them play it online. Shout out to Dizzy Doom, who is a regular
nice
RP streamer of it that frequents the show. She's amazing, and but I just have no interest in playing it, I guess is all I'm saying. So I'm really here just for the single player experience, and it looks great in that game. But it came out on Xbox 360. I remember watching a friend playing it and going, "Ooh, I don't know, man. This doesn't look not looking so good. It's real choppy and slow and like." And then it took off on PS4, but at that point I was I was off to other things. So I feel like I need that was a really long-winded way of saying I feel like I need to get what you got, which is the PS5 copy.
Yeah. Can I vent about GTA Online really?
By all means.
Oh man.
I mean, absolutely not. I'm kidding.
No. So Rockstar, this isn't like a developer. They have locked each edition. So the GTA Online people can only play PS4 to PS4. You can't go PS4 to PS5 and vice versa. You are stuck with that version. I found this out the hard way because my friend and I bought it to play with my friend who has it on PS4. Can't do it. And it's the same on Xbox too. Only Series X players can play with each other. Xbox One, 1S, and all that. No, you're gated to that. I hate it. I think it's awful.
I wonder if that has something to do with how fucking old the game is.
It's possible. But frustrating.
Because I can't imagine Rockstar would want that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
There's no advantage to them as a company for it to be that way.
Yeah.
So I think that might have to do more with the fact that we're talking about how many years old is this game now? 10?
I think it's 11. It's old. It's old.
Yeah, that might have something to do with that.
It came out September 17th, 2013. So today, actually, it came out
9 years ago.
Man, yeah.
Wow.
11/9, whatever.
Okay. So
man,
yeah, I can't imagine that's intentional.
Yeah,
without necessity. That's strange.
Yeah. It's just, but yeah, it goes on sale a lot. $20, definitely a good $20 to spend, especially with the DualSense. If you're into that thing,
100%. Yes, I like my senses dual.
Dual all the senses.
What else you got this week?
Oh baby, so. I was thankful enough to able to pick up the Cowabunga Collection, the special edition. It is over there in a box, but that game is amazing. It has all of the Turtles games that you can imagine, and it was the first time that I have played Hyperstone Heist. And my oh my, I don't think I like it as much as Turtles in Time. Shocker, but
that's not strange.
Yeah,
that game's
it's really
rare.
good.
It's just rare.
Yeah, exactly. And I got it on the Switch. Runs perfectly fine on the Switch. No hiccups. Nothing.
I would hope
it is a flawless Konami game.
Yeah, Konami has been very active of late.
Yeah,
I mean not only with these collections and reissues, but I guess more with these collections and reissues because they did ahead of the Tokyo Game Show announce officially, we can say officially, Konami has come out and said that we will have Suikoden 1 and 2 in a collection. So, the Cowabunga Collection, I want to get that. There's so many collections I want to pick up right now. Even though I do natively own the full Ninja Turtle set. I've got 1, 2, and 3 on NES, Turtles in Time, and then
yes, you do.
Hyperstone on Genesis, still in the box, actually.
Yeah, and I am so jealous
that I got
every day.
That I got for free.
Don't even. God, I hate you so much.
Yeah, but I was digging through the Switch store, and I didn't know that Capcom had released a beat 'em up bundle, and I need this because the Capcom beat 'em up bundle actually includes one of my all-time favorite games ever, which took me forever to track down a physical copy of, but I would love to have it in digital format, and that is the Capcom classic Knights of the Round.
Oh, baby. Yep.
Yeah, it has Final Fight, Captain Commando, King of Dragons, Knights of the Round, Warriors of Fate, and also it has some games that I've only ever played on emulation because you couldn't get them here. One is the mech beat 'em up game Armored Warriors, and it also has Battle Circuit on it. So you can snag that right now on the Switch eShop for $9.99. So
that is a hell of a deal. Hell of a deal.
I think I want that.
Yes, you do.
Well, especially with me traveling to Belgium next week, I need to slay some of these Switch games I have laying around. So, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up what we've been playing this week. So, as I alluded to earlier in the program, we do have quite a bit of news to get through here, as there was both a Nintendo Direct and a Sony State of Play this past week. So without further ado, I kind of just want to briefly run over everything that was announced. But there's also a few in here we need to discuss. So we're going to give full credit where credit is due. Here talking about Nintendo Direct. All the reporting was done through IGN, and I'm just going to regurgitate some of that for you, and then of course, we shall discuss. So, this week's Nintendo Direct, which we talked about a little bit in last week's show because of the leak that came from Jeff Grubb, did not disappoint. There was a lot covered here, and one thing covered that we've been needing to talk about for quite a while. So, without further ado, Pikmin 4 will finally be released on Switch in 2023. This news is a long time coming, as Miyamoto had previously stated the game was very close to completion in 2015. So finally getting a follow-up from the, I guess, that what was originally a Wii, it was Pikmin 3, that was a Wii U game that got ported over to the Switch, or I think that's right.
I believe you're right, yes. Yes.
So long time coming for Pikmin 4. Next up, and I haven't even had time to play the game that just came out yet. Jesus Christ. Fire Emblem Engage. These guys are shitting out games. Fire Emblem Engage is the next main entry in the Fire Emblem series, and will follow a story set 1,000 years after four kingdoms sealed away the great evil known as the Fell Dragon. In Engage, players will become a divine dragon called Alir, who must work to collect emblem rings to bring back peace to the continent of Aelios. Along your journey, you will even be able to have other previous Fire Emblem characters join your party, like Marth and Celica. Fire Emblem Engage is coming out on January 20th, 2023. So I think, no, it wasn't in the show last week. Me and Johnny had an offline conversation where I said, one of the games I'm going to be playing while I'm in Europe is the first Switch Fire Emblem game, Fire Emblem Three Houses. It's already installed on my system and ready to go. They just came out with a Fire Emblem game, what, 4 weeks ago, something like that?
Yes, they did.
And now we have another one due out in January. This is, I'm about to go season 1 of South Park here and call shenanigans and get my broom. This is out of control. So, Next up, Kirby's Return to Dreamland. Kirby, of course, is one of my favorite Nintendo IP. Kirby's Return to Dreamland was first released on the Wii in 2011, and in 2023, we'll see it arrive on Switch in a brand new pink puffy package. This updated title features up to 4-player multiplayer and a collection of mini games like Samurai Kirby and Magalore's Tome Trackers. Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe will be released on February 24th. 2023. So, Dev, what are your thoughts on Kirby's Return to Dreamland getting an update and coming to the Switch?
I can't get enough Kirby. I am so happy with the resurgence of Kirby. I also love Return to Dreamland on the Wii. And what they showed in that trailer, A, was a surprise, and B, damn, did it look good. And I'm so happy. And I'm also happy that it has 4-player co-op. Flawless. So I can't wait. I'm so excited. So excited.
Yeah, Kirby is actually, I don't know if I've shared this information here, but one of the first system that I played religiously was my my Nintendo Game Boy, my original gray Nintendo Game Boy. And my first Zelda game was Link's Awakening. And my first platforming game on that system was Kirby's Dreamland. So me and Kirby go way back to my Game Boy. And of course, I still have that faded Game Boy that my parents purchased for me and my brother when we took a road trip to Disney World when I was a kid, so that we wouldn't murder each other in the back seat of their Ford Aerostar. Yeah. Thing still works great. So yeah, this is the format of Kirby I love. I really liked the new 3D one that came out this past year. However, Kirby to me is a dish best served in 2 dimensions, not 3. So I'm excited for this to get an update and come out on the Switch. Octopath Traveler 2 will be released on the same day as Kirby, February 24th, 2023. And will bring with it a whole new group of heroes and a brand new story to experience in the world of Celestia. All with the same wonderful 2D HD art style that set the original apart from other JRPGs. Octopath Traveler 2 will not be a Switch exclusive and will also launch on PC via Steam, PS5, and PS4. So a lot to unpack there, Deb. Why don't you help get us started on unpacking this announcement with Octopath Traveler 2?
Man, it was such a wonderful surprise. That game is just, it's phenomenal on every level. And what drew me into it was one of the art style. And having a sequel to this, which is probably going to be even more in-depth than what this one is, will suck my life away, and I'll love every minute of it. It looked amazing in that trailer.
Yeah, it's I truly think if this had come out in the SNES era, that it would probably be heralded as one of the greatest games of all time.
I agree with you.
But there's definitely some interesting details here between the lines. So our Xbox users, myself included, will of course know and be very familiar with the fact that you can play Octopath Traveler on Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very interesting to me that this game is not coming to Xbox in any capacity at release. Switch, PC, and Sony platforms are the only places this is being released. Now, we have talked extensively about Square's relationship with both Nintendo and Sony. And it's an old relationship and very steady between those two platforms, of course. In the earlier days, Nintendo, I'd say, was the stronger partner. And then, of course, in the PlayStation era, is probably their most legendary partnership. But do you make anything of this, that it's just coming to Nintendo and Sony and being released on Steam? Or am I looking too far into that maybe there's a potential acquisition in the future?
I was thinking it, and I agree with you. There's a reason that they keep leaving Xbox out of things, and I think you're right. I think we're getting closer and closer to an acquisition, and I'm going to say at the beginning of next year we are going to hear it. I wish they would still be Xbox friends, but I don't know, Mike. I don't think that they're gonna give anything to Xbox at this point, especially if Octopath is on Game Pass now, and you're like, nah, you're not going to get to. Okay, sure.
Yeah, and it's strange. I'm reading between the lines with this also as I look and see that some Final Fantasy games are leaving the service soon. So, just a little tinfoil hatting here, but certainly this is probably one of the ones I was most excited about via the announces. Nintendo revealed some upcoming games that will soon be added to Nintendo Switch Online. Perhaps the most exciting is GoldenEye 007. GoldenEye will even feature online play. In addition to GoldenEye, Pilot Wings, Mario Party, Mario Party 2, Mario Party 3, Pokemon Stadium 2, 1080 Snowboarding, and Excite Bike 64 will be joining the service in 22 and 23. Again, there's quite a bit to unpack here. I would say that Nintendo's sort of been lackadaisical in their releases on all of the systems of late, and it's good to see that some important games are finally popping up here, and some of them aren't ones that they hold the license to, like GoldenEye. Which is, of course, owned by Rare, which is, of course, a brand that's in bed with Microsoft. So, GoldenEye coming to the Switch with online play is just half the story, because it's also coming to Xbox, is it not?
It is coming to Xbox in a weird way.
And how is that weird, sir?
Oh, it is weird, but you're going to get your 4Ks. You're going to get your high frame rates. You're going to get the same great GoldenEye with some split screen multiplayer. But they said, no. You're not getting that online multiplayer. You're going to play that on the Nintendo Switch. It's weird.
It's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, it is. And you know what else I heard? I don't know the truth of this, but I heard that on the Switch side for the online multiplayer, it's still going to appear as split screen, which is kind of weird. I don't know the 100% truth to that, but I was reading about it, and that's what so far what it seems to be. Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, the whole service has been weird since it was announced, really, and I'm just never ever going to take part in it. I don't think.
Oh, I know. What I think is weird is Mario Party 1 through 3 coming on this service. I thought for sure they were going to either do something in the line of Superstars and combine them all together to sell you for $50 instead of putting this on the service, but my oh my, was I wrong.
Yeah,
I did not expect that.
I think this is a bad move, honestly. I mean, I'm not a huge... Everything you have the license for, just fucking put it up. Be done with it. You don't need to keep playing these games of, like, trickling it out. But, no, the Mario Party 2 and Mario Party 3 are great games. They're lots of fun.
Yes.
However...
100%.
However, as it was a problem at the day and time when it came out on the N64, if they release the original versions, it's going to be a problem again in 2022 for the hardware itself. Now, some of you out there, like Dev, are going to start nodding your head going, yep. But those of you who don't know are going to be going, well, what the fuck is he talking about? My hardware? How's it going to break my hardware? So the old games, right? They had a game in them where you took the controller and you sat it in your hand like this. And the joystick you took your palm of your hand, put it on the joystick, and spun it as fast as you fucking could.
Yeah, get them blisters.
Now, yeah, it would blister your hand, but what it would also do is all of the bearings in the joystick for the N64 were plastic. And it would wear it out to the point where the joystick would flop around like a limp dick in the fucking holder. It was just, wet noodle syndrome. And it fucking destroyed controllers. But it doesn't matter what the bearing is. It's such an aggressive motion that it just fucking destroys stuff. And, Dev, I think I might have heard at some point, is there a mechanical problem already with the Joy-Cons?
Yeah, I think it's called some kind of drift.
Is it
Joy-Con drift? That's what it is. Yeah. Joy-Con
do they drift? I think I might have.
They do.
I think I might have heard that they drift.
Enough to a class action lawsuit. They drift.
Yeah, I think we put in a few claims and gotten new ones for free.
More than likely.
Do you think people taking the Joy-Con and is going to be great? No.
Oh.
So, yeah, if they re-release them in the Dream package that you mentioned, that would be great.
Mm.
But if they're going to expect people to fire up the old version and take their new, how expensive is the new Nintendo 64 controller for the Switch?
I think it's $50.
I think it's 50 fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nintendo, come on, Jesus Christ. Next up, Crisis Core. Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion will officially be released on Switch and other platforms on December 13th, 2022. It will tell the story of Zack Fair, and it will be a remaster of the PSP classic. Harvest Moon, A Wonderful Life. GameCube's Harvest Moon, A Wonderful Life, which I own, is getting remade as Story of Seasons, A Wonderful Life, and it will be released on Switch summer of 2023. Next up, for quite a few gamers I know, one who is very near and dear to my heart and lives in my house, Fae Farm. Fae Farm is a sim RPG, a farm sim RPG for up to 4 players that mixes the best of Magic with the fun of building and caring for your very own farm. No release date given for Fae Farm, but it looks very nice. Fatal Frame, Mask of the Lunar Eclipse, which was first released in Japan on the Wii in 2008, never made its way to the West. It will arrive on Nintendo Switch in early 2023. Tunic.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, no.
The adventure game starring an adorable fox that takes great inspiration from The Legend of Zelda arrives on Nintendo Switch on September 27th, 10 days from now.
Uh-huh. Moving along.
Did you play Tunic? Did you like it?
No, I did not play it. I had about a 20-minute conversation with you that I didn't participate in, but I read, and my oh my, did I understand your opinion on it.
I will agree that the fox is adorable.
That's a positive. How's that going for it?
Worst game of the year. It Takes Two. The charming co-op adventure. It's coming to Nintendo Switch on November 4th of this year. I love this game. It Takes Two. I played it with my good friend Mandy. We had just the best time with this game, and it's so good. And I was surprised. I actually didn't realize that it wasn't just out on the Switch. So here it comes. Game of the Year from the Video Game Awards last year.
Yep.
Is coming to the Switch. So what are your thoughts on this, sir?
I love It Takes Two. I know you and I had a conversation last year about it winning Game of the Year. I was very happy that it won. I know you wanted Psychonauts too, but I'm glad It Takes Two won.
I wanted Metroid Dread.
True. But I know you love that Psychonauts though.
Psychonauts is I I had mixed emotions on it. That's the one that Johnny was really high on, was Psychonauts 2.
Oh, okay.
He was pissed that it didn't get anything.
Yeah, that is true. But with it being co-op, and I love the fact that every game that Hazelight makes is a couch co-op game, and that is what the world needs to have fun and immerse yourself with your friends and family. Especially, can I talk about a specific scene in this game that is traumatizing to everybody who's played it?
Yeah, for those that don't want spoilers on this game, fast forward like 2-3 minutes.
Yeah. The elephant scene is one of the worst, most traumatizing scenes I have ever had played in a game. It is awful. It's terrible.
When me and Mandy got to that point, I said, I don't want to play this game anymore.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I almost got there.
I'm like, I just want to turn it off.
Yeah. It is terrible.
I'm like, I hate these people.
Fuck your campaign. I'm done.
No,
See ya.
once I had finished the game, I kind of got it, and I'm like, okay, this is Game of the Year material.
Yeah,
and it was so different from A Way Out, which I also really enjoyed.
Love that.
We played that game after It Takes Two, but
oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see. It's challenging. It's a challenging platformer. It Takes Two is, so it's not something you want to play with someone who's easily frustrated or a newbie. If you're going to get anywhere in that game, you need two pretty competent platform players. So,
great.
Next up, Sifu, the Kung Fu action brawler, is coming to Switch on November 8th. Johnny, of course, beat the fucking brakes off this game.
Yes, he did.
And I, of course, have not touched it yet, but I think Switch is actually a great platform for this game to come out on. I've kind of been holding off on Sifu because I expected it to get cheaper than it's been, and the price on it just seems to hold up. So, not what I was expecting, but what were your thoughts on Sifu, sir?
So I'm excited that it's coming to Switch, but from that trailer, and I don't know if it was the stream or what, but that frame rate did not look very good. And with that kind of game, you need the frames because you can mess up with it, and it makes me nervous that that's coming out on the Switch. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's sort of like a Neon White in that way, which is a game that's amazing on PC, and I haven't personally played it on Switch yet, but from the YouTube play-along videos I've watched, I'm like, holy shit, how are people dealing with this? However, if there was somebody that was going to deal with it, it'd be me, the person that beat Cyberpunk on PS4.
You're a legend.
Finally, Zelda. Alongside another short glimpse of gameplay, we finally have a release date and a name for the sequel to Breath of the Wild. Sir, the name of the sequel to Breath of the Wild is
Tears of the Kingdom.
Yes, and there was some controversy here because they just revealed the name by text, and some people, because of how English works, thought it was Tears of the Kingdom. To those that thought it was Tears of the Kingdom, allow me to present a concept in English that may be completely foreign to you. It's called context. The first game was called Breath of the Wild, so contextually, Tears of the Kingdom makes a lot more sense than Tears of the Kingdom. So if you had the unfortunate problem of not being able to read English like an adult, I'm sorry, and this game's not for you. Do not pass go, do not collect $200, and shed tears that you've been excluded as I tear up your invitation to play this game.
Tears from laughing.
I thought that was the dumbest story ever. It's like, here comes the game, and then there's the Twitter debate of, it's tears, man. No, it's tears, dude. That Nintendo actually had to come out and comment. It's tears, guys. We didn't think.
Yep.
We didn't think we'd have to clarify that it's tears. But here we are. It's
Yeah.
Tears of the Kingdom. English, motherfuckers. So Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is coming on May 12th of 2023. So just 12 short days after Justin Timberlake sings It's Going to Be May, you will be able to play this fine new product from Nintendo, the most anticipated game of not only 2020, but also 2021 and also 2022, and now confirmed it's the most anticipated game of 2023. Woo!
Yeah, baby.
Sir, thoughts on Tears of the Kingdom?
Oh, man. I got two thoughts. My first thought is, I don't know if you've seen the box art yet, but the box art for this game looks freaking incredible.
Looks good.
It's real good.
Yeah.
It looks real good. The second one, I know that they optimized the hell out of Breath of the Wild, but this game looks much larger in scope, and I'm real nervous about how it's going to run. Not going to lie. I don't know if it needs a Switch Pro 2, 5, or 7 to run that thing, but my goodness.
Yeah, I did not feel too concerned about how it's going to run because it didn't look all that different from Breath of the Wild to me. And Breath of the Wild was a previous generation game. So I think its art style lends to the strength of the hardware quite a bit. So I have a feeling, well, that and everything that actual Nintendo's put out, they like have an extra 50 horsepower available to them that everyone else doesn't have.
Very true.
And their games just run fucking great. I was kind of, you may recall that this is a deep dive for listeners of the podcast, but I was concerned about this with the latest Kirby game. And when I actually got the game and I played it, it was fine. It ran perfect.
Perfect.
So there's really not much to say here. We got a few new shots of Link. I think this is the first time in gameplay we saw the classic blue tunicked Link from Breath of the Wild, as well as that scraggly, I don't know what's going on. It looked like he might have had a bad day or something. Version of Link that
should have cut out of work.
Has this scraggly Sonic the Hedgehog hair. So, no, everyone's excited for this game, and finally, we have a release date. But I don't think much more to say on that. We know it's just going to be another game in that vein, and I hope they did away with weapon degradation. That would make a lot of people happy.
God, I hope so. Jesus.
Next up, Sony couldn't let Nintendo have all the thunder this week. Oh no. Sony also had their state of play. So this one we can kind of bang through. Tekken 8 was announced. The state of play got off to a hot start, opening with the reveal trailer for Tekken 8. A release date wasn't shared for the game, but the trailer did only mention a PS5 release for the game, meaning the latest entry in the classic fighting game series may be next-gen only. Demeo, the cooperative dungeon-crawling survival game, Demeo makes more sense. Let's go with that. Is officially coming to PlayStation VR 2. Players can fully immerse themselves in a tabletop-esque world, rolling dice and dishing out cards in VR. Like a Dragon Ishin, the Yakuza spin-off game Ishin is getting released for the first time outside of Japan in the form of Like a Dragon Ishin. They really seem to be ditching the Yakuza for Like a Dragon, by the way. But the game is coming to PS4 and PS5 in February of 2023. So what did you have to share with us on Like a Dragon, sir?
I am so unbelievably excited. Background, this game, like Mike said, is the first time outside of Japan. I've actually thought about importing this game, but it does not have English subtitles in the game at all for the older game. So I have been waiting patiently, hoping for this to happen, and thankfully I will be playing it in February of 2023. It looks so over the top. I love Yakuza. I plowed through all of them before I played Like a Dragon, and it's just an amazing series. I can't wait for this. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I've been meaning to. I mean, amidst all the backlog stuff I've already chewed off, to get into Like a Dragon, because that looks like a really cool game, and very, very up my speed. So Pacific Drive, Ironwood Studios' first game, is officially called Pacific Drive. Pacific, as in the ocean, Pacific. And will put players behind the wheel as they drive around what appears to be a post-apocalyptic version of the Pacific Northwest. Now, this game interests me greatly.
Oh, okay.
Pacific Drive, I've been paying some attention to because, it's got driving, which I love driving games. But B, the best way I can describe what this game is to somebody is it's Death Stranding, but instead of Norman Reedus, you play as a 80s station wagon. And it looks so good. It's got some of that Stranger Things kind of vibe to it, but it looks very, very influenced by Death Stranding, even though it's not a third-person walking adventure. It's a first-person driving game. But you can leave your car and stuff, but it has that same urgency to it with the paranormal detector that's in the car. And this game looks like it's going to be really, really good. And I don't think it's on a lot of people's radars, so I'm excited to talk about it. And I'm excited to get a release date for it and potentially play it. So Pacific Drive. Thin Duality has been announced from Bandai Namco, a third-person shooter featuring mechs and an art style akin to Nier Automata, albeit a little bit more colorful. A trailer showed off the game in action alongside a 2023 release window. Finally, Rise of Ronin. Neo developer Team Ninja has announced an open-world samurai game. Team Ninja has announced an open-world samurai game called Rise of the Ronin, a PlayStation 5 console exclusive with a 2024 release window. A trailer showed off the gorgeous world set during the modernization period of Japan. Devlin, sir. Rise of Ronin.
Rise of Ronin. 2024 can't get here fast enough. Not only does that game remind me of Ghost of Tsushima, it reminds me of Ghost of Tsushima with magic, spells, and lots of other things that make me go, ooh, especially a glider. When that dude jumped off with the glider, that made me real happy. But the fighting looks great. The parrying looks great. The world, like you said, looks great. Beautiful graphics. This is on my radar, and I can't wait. I'm so excited.
The Neo series in and of itself was a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, I need to play it. I have the collection, haven't played it.
I think they did a re-release of it for PS5 as well. So
yes, they did. Yep.
And that did it for the whole Sony segment. So, dude, look at us. We are doing so good. We just got through.
Killing it.
We just got through two. I was afraid that the show would be going horribly over, but we are we are on pace here, sir. So.
We're doing great. We're doing on.
Well, you know what that means. It's now time for the final segment of the Power Gamer podcast, and that segment is, of course, called. Ladies and gentlemen, that's right. It's time for One Up. As you are my fine guest here this week, sir, why don't we get started with you? What is your One Up this week?
And I appreciate that. Thank you. My One Up is to the fabulous action star hero Tom Cruise and Top Gun Maverick. I saw that movie for the first time last night. I laughed. I cried and had about 3 heart attacks before the end of that movie. and it is one of my favorite movies ever. I cannot believe what I saw, and it is incredible, absolutely incredible.
I consider that movie to be one of the greatest of all time, and of course, everyone knows how much I love Tom Cruise, and I don't care if you don't like the fact that I like Tom Cruise, because you're not me, and you can go fuck yourself. Tom Cruise is amazing.
Yes, he is. 100%.
Yeah, no, that latest Top Gun movie is just out of this world good, and everyone should watch it.
Mm-hmm.
My one up this week, for those watching, you may notice there's something a little bit different going on over here than normal. My one up this week is this is a real Johnny Paulus one because it's a product recommendation. But I've changed microphones, the most important tool that I use in providing this show every week. So formerly, we had this little guy from PreSonus, the PD70. So every episode prior to this one was recorded on this microphone. But for no real rhyme or reason, we decided to make a change. So I'm quite pleased with the overall sound of this new microphone. And certainly, if you would like to know what it is, I can tell you. It is the Audio-Technica AT2040. It's a broadcast microphone that you can purchase for just $100, and it sounds freaking great. So my one up this week is the Audio-Technica AT2040. So if you're a streamer, or if you're into podcasting, or if you just want a nice quality mic for your voice, I can't recommend this mic strongly enough. So AT2040, it's an advertisement for something I'm not getting paid to talk about, but I'm just really excited about my new microphone. So I figured that would be my one up this week. Well, that draws us to the end of the show here. Did you have any closing thoughts or urgent items that we should think about before we depart for this week, sir?
You know, I did. I've been thinking about it. I want to circle back really quick to the Square Enix stuff. I read something before we came on today that Daddy Phil Spencer said that he's been trying to get Final Fantasy 14 on the platform for about the last 3 years, and it ain't working. And I think that kind of solidifies our maybe Square Enix says, no, you're not going to get that jump.
Yeah, they seem to. I mean, certainly earlier in the year when they unloaded all of their Western developers, they have a very Japan first mindset as a company, and it's good. I mean, that's who they are. That's their identity. They are a Japanese studio, and they do best when they're not chasing things like the Avengers, which guess what Microsoft Game Pass does get. They get that
one.
I guess I had one final one here myself, and that's regarding one of my favorite games I've played in recent memory, which is Deathloop, which is the exclusive period with Sony has ended, and just as it ends, guess what happens? Microsoft comes out and announces
on that Game Pass.
It's coming to Game Pass. So what do I make of this? I've said this many times here on the show before. Microsoft treats its product like ass, like worthless, sad, flat, flabby ass. And I thought Deathloop was one that, you could sell. You could put a price tag on it and sell it, but for one reason or another, Microsoft just refuses to do this and would rather just put everything up on Game Pass. And, it's not like this game didn't sell on PlayStation. It's lived there for a while. It, of course, was awkward because it was contracted between Sony and Bethesda before Microsoft made the purchase. So the game had to live out its period of exclusivity on Sony's platform, even though Microsoft ultimately owned the company when the game came out. So what can we derive from this information? Well, we can derive what we already know, which is Deathloop will be on Game Pass in the very near future. But we should also derive that a game that I have been fawning over this year, Ghostwire Tokyo, which again was another game that was a Sony exclusive for a limited period of time, that was produced under that same house, which now belongs to Microsoft. So we should expect to see Ghostwire Tokyo get the same treatment sometime in the future. So Sony continues trudging along saying quality, quality, quality. And Microsoft keeps trudging along saying value, value, value. And I think it's clear who I think has the right approach to this, because I think when you advertise quality, you win. Brands that advertise quality, I always jump to cars: Mercedes-Benz, BMW.
Mm-hmm.
Brands that shout value, value: Nissan, Hyundai, Kia. Which would you rather drive?
Yep. Get that Mercedes.
Absolutely. So it's just marketing 101, and I just don't get this continuing. Hey, let's just give everything away, part of our subscription. It just devalues the product to nothing, to where you're teaching your entire player base to never buy products from you. It's a bad move. It's bad. Stop doing it, Microsoft. I'd rather just buy the game. I wish I had a physical copy of Halo Infinite I could throw across my room in frustration. But instead, I don't.
God.
I
God.
I had to bring it up because I have you here.
Oh, I listened to that segment last week, and oh man, I was screaming.
Well, before we get out of here, I'd be remiss if I didn't demand that you tell people where they can find you on the internet. You live in many places. You live in Twitch. You live on YouTube. You live on Twitter. Very active on Twitter. So tell these people. We've got this dude in Malaysia that just loves this show, and I'm sure he will want to come find you. Shout out to whoever that person is. But
that's a huge shout out. That's a very huge shout out. Twitch.tv/cul-de-sac-jack. I'm on there. I'm on YouTube as the same name, just cul-de-sac Jack. And then on Twitter, I'm the cul-de-sac Jack because cul-de-sac Jack was taken. So,
CULDESACJACK.
JACK. Yep.
For those that don't know how to spell cul-de-sac. Well,
Tear, not tear.
Thank you very much for coming in and joining us here. I gotta say, you held your own for short notice, sir. That was a fantastic job you just did. So, hopefully,
thank you. I really appreciate
hopefully we
that.
can have
Thank
you back in here again soon. Until next time,
I'd love to.
Wait, I'm not doing this right. We will, of course, be back again next week. Johnny would be flipping out. We will, of course, be back again next week with another great episode of the Power Gamer Podcast. Until then, I'm Mike Dawson.
I'm Cul-de-sac Jack.
Tune in
David Devlin.
next time. Take care.
Have a good one.